Hello! In this devotional, we're going to give you 3 thoughts from Mark 7 and 8. So if you haven't read Mark 7 and 8 yet, go ahead, pause the video, go read Mark 7 and 8, and then come back. It's not a problem. We'll wait. We're going to read Mark 8, 11 through 13 to find out 3 thoughts about signs. Mark 8, 11 through 13. The Pharisees came and began to argue with him, seeking from him a sign from heaven to test him. And he sighed deeply in his spirit and said, "Why does this generation seek a sign? Truly I say to you, no sign will be given to this generation." And he left them, got into the boat again, and went to the other side. A lot of people want signs. They want proof. They want the demonstration of power put right before them so that way they can decide for themselves. That's what the Pharisees wanted. I don't think that we're any different. We want to be proven things to. We want folks to convince us. But here are 3 thoughts on signs that I think might be able to help us a little bit. Thought number 1, the Lord is under no obligation to provide signs. The Lord is under no obligation to provide signs. He doesn't have to prove anything to you. We have this weird idea where we think that everyone has to convince us to believe in the thing that they're saying. The Lord doesn't need to prove anything to us. To think that is to misunderstand the relationship that the Creator has with the creation. So the Lord's under no obligation. In fact, the Lord is in no way obliged to you or I in any way at all. Now that's something for us to think about. We cannot force the Lord's hand in anything, and He doesn't have to provide us a sign. So that's thought number 1. The Lord is under no obligation to provide signs. Thought number 2. People desire signs for selfish reasons. This passage of Scripture, Mark 8:11, comes right after the feeding of the 4,000. So there's a sense in which some people are following Jesus around because they want to get the food. There's also a sense where people are following Jesus around because they want themselves or their family to have the healing. People desire signs for selfish reasons. I want the food. I want to be healed. I want to be convinced of what's going on. But the Lord's not under any obligation to give you a sign. And since most people want a sign for a selfish reason rather than for the glory of the Lord, you're probably just not going to get one. And I really can't blame the Lord for not providing more signs to folks who are just being selfish. So that's thought number 2. Thought number 3, signs serve to condemn as well as to convince. So here's the way this thought kind of works out. When the Lord does signs and you believe, then that's a good thing. But if the Lord does a sign and then you don't believe, then that's a bad thing. A sign that is shown to you that you later disregard is condemnation for you in your unbelief. So when people go to the Lord and they say, "I want a sign," and they can't recognize either the signs that have already been done in the past or the good things that the Lord is bringing about now because they just aren't quite good enough, they aren't quite miraculous or wondrous enough for whatever reason, those signs that the Lord has done serve as condemnation for the person who has experienced them. It doesn't matter how wondrous or glorious or amazing the sign is. If you've already hardened your heart against the Lord, nothing is going to convince you. So those are the 3 thoughts that I have for you about signs. The Lord is under no obligation to provide us signs. People desire signs for selfish reasons, and signs serve to condemn as well as to convince. Now for us, the greatest sign that could ever be shown for us is the resurrection. So bear that in mind. We have already seen and we have experienced the greatest sign of all, the resurrection of Jesus Christ. If you'd like to read through the Bible with me, you can do so through the Facebook group, Through the Bible. Go ahead, find that, and we would love for you to come and read the Bible with us.